Greetings, amazing visionaries. I welcome you to yet another episode of the Insightful Daily with your friend, the visionary full-time, Miss Lesego, Montsho. My amazing friends, I welcome you to the Insightful Daily. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that sometimes you try to go for your goal and for some reason you do not manage to reach for your goal? Sometimes the reason why people do not go for their goals is not because of other people. Very often people tend to think that the reason why they do not reach their goals is because of other people. But most often, the reason why most people do not reach their goals is not entirely about other people. Most of the times, it's about the self-sabotage that people do or that people have towards themselves. And in today's episode, our discussion will be centered around self-sabotage. Why most people sabotage themselves, and that is what we will be on about. My amazing, beautiful visionaries, self-sabotage involves you destroying yourself both physically and mentally. Self-sabotage, my amazing friends, involves you undermining your capabilities, you undermining your talents. Whenever you undermine your abilities, whenever you undermine your capabilities, whenever you undermine your potential, you are doing what is called self-sabotage. Today we are going to talk about ways in which people tend to self-sabotage. People tend to stand in their own way and stop themselves from being the best in their fields, from being the best in whatever that they do, simply because they self-sabotage. My dear friends, without wasting any time, let's jump into a list of things that many people tend to self-sabotage. The number one thing that most people do to self-sabotage themselves is that they expect to be given things. I understand that most people grew up being given everything that they need without having to ask. I understand that most people grew up in environments where they needed to not work for the things that they need in life or the things that they want in life, but they were just provided with those things at their fingertips. However, as stress-free as this may sound, that is not how the real world operates. In the real world, whenever you want to achieve your goals, you have to go out there and look and chase and work for the things that you need and you want in your life to achieve the goals that you have for yourself. In the real world, my dear visionaries, you have to go after what you want. Your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, they're not going to suddenly become reality without you going out there and making sure that they happen. Unfortunately or fortunately, you have to make sure that you go out there and make them happen. You have to go out there and realize them by yourself. You have to constantly work towards achieving them. It's always important to remember that to achieve your goals, you have to take active and conscious steps to achieve them, my dear friends. My amazing visionaries, the second way in which most of you self-sabotage is through procrastination. I don't know how many times I need to stress that procrastination steals your time, my fellow visionaries. If you were to ask the question of what is the most important resource that cannot be bought, that cannot be restored, the answer is going to be time. And the unfortunate thing about procrastination is that it tricks you into believing that you have more time than you actually have to complete your tasks. However, as you push away the important things that you need to do from your desk or from your to-do list, you are also keeping on pause your most important long-term life goals. Procrastination can also destroy your reputation. If people that you work with know that this guy always gives himself deadlines that he never meets, this guy is always quick to say, I'll finish this task on this day, but he never does that, then it's most likely that people are not going to be interested to work with you simply because they know that you never meet your deadlines, you never meet or complete the tasks that you are supposed to complete. And as you do that, you're most likely going to lose your job, and your job will also affect your financial life. The next way in which most people self-sabotage is by blaming others when things go wrong. It is very easy. It is easy as ABC, as 1, 2, 3 to shift the blame to others. I mean, who wants to be burdened with the guilt that comes with having things going wrong? But my dear friends, we need to understand that sometimes bad things happen and it could be nobody's fault, or it could be yours and not other people's fault. But if you find yourself constantly blaming others when things go wrong, then there might be a problem somewhere. If you've never seen any fault with you, but it's always other people, then you might need to start to look within yourself and see where the problem could be and stop shifting the blame to other people. This could be an indication that you are not taking responsibility for your own actions. When you fail to see that you've made a mistake, but you would rather manipulate or blame someone else for your mistakes, then it's about time you start to look within yourself. And at the same time, you are preventing yourself from learning and moving on from that mistake. It's very important to know that there's not a problem that is caused only by one person. Most of the time, whenever there's a problem, your input could be the reason why that problem has occurred, or there could be some error somewhere that has been contributed by your input in the occurrence of the problem. But when you blame others, you stop yourself from learning from your mistake, from discovering your mistakes, from realizing your weaknesses, because you are always the one who knows how to shift the blame to others. And whenever you do this, just know that you are sabotaging yourself from learning from your mistakes and growing from your mistakes. The next way in which most people self-sabotage, my dear friends, is by picking fights with their friends. Did you know that there's nothing wrong with disagreeing with your friends? You do not always have to agree with your friends. You do not always have to be happy with your friends. In fact, it's a good sign if you have friends that argue with you over different subject matter, for as long as it's done in a respectable manner. Arguments are healthy for good relations with others. The fact that you are friends with someone doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything that they say. And at the same time, expressing your differences to your friends doesn't mean that it should be the end of friendship. However, if your friends know that you are someone who pick fights with everyone simply because you do not agree on some things, or simply because they have brought it to attention that they're not happy with a certain behavior that you have displayed, then you could be doing disservice to yourself. My dear friends, fighting with your friends whenever they do not agree with you, fighting with your friends whenever they share any opinion that they have towards you or your behavior with a desire to correct you, does not make you a better person. Fighting with your friends all the time wouldn't give you the respect that you think it would give you. In fact, this behavior will only push people away from you. The reason why some people never have friends or genuine friends who truly care about them but keep around people who are short-term friends and they can't maintain friendships is because they pick fights with every friend or any person who says something that is contrary to what they believe, or that is contrary to how they view life and think about things. It's very important to try to understand the stance of others before you take things personally. It's very healthy to have disagreements with your friends. It's very healthy to not always share the same opinions and beliefs with people you call your friends. But at the same time, them not agreeing with you does not make them your enemies. The reason why they bring some things to your attention is because they genuinely care about you. Only people who do not care about you will be scared to offend you simply because they're in that relationship with you for themselves and not for you. People who genuinely care about you will tell you the truth, even the most painful, even the most bitter truth, without compromising it. One of the ways in which most of you self-sabotage is by thinking that what you know is enough. My amazing visionaries, there's one philosopher by the name Socrates, and he once said that the only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. These words from Socrates are a beautiful reminder that as humans, we do not know anything, we know nothing, and there's always an opportunity to learn more in our day-to-day lives. Of course, I cannot deny that as human beings, we are brilliant creatures. God made us in a way that we explore, we learn, we have and we carry, we store so much knowledge about different subject matters. However, living by this beautiful quote from Socrates can help you to always ache to learn more in your life, because there's more to learn. However, if you decide to live by a standpoint that assumes that there's nothing more to learn, then you are going to limit your abilities, because knowledge is power. Knowledge has the ability to expand your horizons. Knowledge has the ability to expand even your frontiers. And if you continue to live by that principle, you are going to realize that your life will be stagnant, both in your career and even your personal life, simply because you do not value learning more, you do not value increasing yourself through expansion of your knowledge base. So my amazing visionaries, always remind yourself that you know nothing, and this will push you to learn more. You need to stay foolish, you need to stay hungry, and hungry even for the knowledge of a whole lot of different things. The next way in which most of you self-sabotage is that you do not express your feelings. We live in a times where most people do not understand the importance of communicating how you feel about things. You do not need to act like the tough person. You do not need to be the cool person. You do not need to act like the tough person by suppressing your feelings, by not speaking about how you feel about things that are happening in your life, in your relationships, and even in your other areas of life. Talking about your emotions will help you to be self-aware. Talking about your emotions and feelings will help you to deal with them better. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. When you feel sad, feel free to speak to someone about it. Do not be scared to tell someone that you are feeling sad, because bottling up your feelings will only cause more harm to you than good. And also, bottling your emotions up is one of the ways in which you can end up developing very serious mental conditions. Being vulnerable, my amazing friends, helps you to build strong bonds in your relationships with others. And not only that, being vulnerable helps you to even understand your emotions and understand yourself better. Amazing visionaries, one of the ways in which most people self-sabotage is that they are not honest with their friends. We live in the times where everybody wants to act like the grass is greener on their side, to a point where they do not value honesty. My dear friends, you need to understand that every great friendship thrives on honesty. The best policy in this world is honesty. Learn to be honest regardless of the circumstances. In any circumstance that you find yourself in, be honest, because just like the Bible says, speak the truth and only the truth will set you free. And honesty goes hand in hand with truthfulness. There's no how you can be truthful if you do not understand the principle of honesty. If you're not being honest with your friends, you risk losing them forever. Nobody enjoys being in a friendship where they're constantly lied to. But they lie even unprovoked. People who just thrive in lying. And they lie to a point where you can see that this is now a chronic condition. When you lie to your friends, you give them an impression that they're not important to you. When you lie to your friends, you give them even a terrible impression about you. The next way in which most people self-sabotage is by choosing to walk away when things get difficult. When the going gets tough, very often most people always choose to do the easy thing, and the easy thing to do is to give up. The easy thing to do is to jump out of the moving ship. It's very easy. It's very easy to say that I'm quitting. It's very easy to say that I'm resigning. It's very easy to say that I'm ending this friendship. It's very easy to say that I can't do this anymore. What's hard is being able to continue despite the problems that you see around, being able to soldier on even in the midst of challenges. It takes a lot of strength to do that. My amazing friend, I want you to imagine a situation where you are in a bed full of roses. You are in some faraway place where everything is given to you, everything is at your disposal. You don't have any worries. That would be a great life, isn't it? It will be a great life indeed. However, that is very far from the reality of the life that we live. In the life that we live right now, there is no how you cannot walk in your day-to-day life. There is no how you can walk in your journey of life without challenges. Challenges are a very integral part of our life. Challenges, my dear friends, prepare our teenage selves for adult life. And at the same time, challenges prepare us to become better adults. However, if you decide to run and hide whenever you face challenges, then you are self-sabotaging. Then you are sabotaging your own potential. This kind of self-sabotage could be that you break up with your romantic partner after every fight that you have. or you resign from every job as soon as you face challenges. And while this may not be your fault, it could be your fear of criticism and doubts about your own potential that cause you to run away every time you come across problems. My amazing visionaries. The next way in which most people self-sabotage is by refusing to work towards their goals. Most people have a tendency of giving up on their goals because they're scared of failure. Most people always choose the easy way of quitting, and they reassure themselves by saying that it couldn't have turned better anyway. But if you didn't try, how would you know? How would you know that maybe this might have turned out to be great? You need to understand that you are defined by your goals and aspirations. And whenever you choose to give up on your goals and aspirations, it's like you giving up on yourself. I mean, how would you feel if you hear that a very close friend of you gave up on a dream that they've always been passionate about since they were a little child? I'm very certain that you would feel devastated on behalf of your friend, right? That's exactly how the world feels whenever you decide to abandon your own dreams and aspirations. The next way in which most people self-sabotage is through addictions. Depending on what you are addicted to, addictions have the potential to affect both your physical and even your mental health. If, for instance, you find yourself smoking several packets of cigarettes every day, you're putting your life and health at risk. Likewise, addictions to pornography, addictions to gambling, all these sorts of addictions, they also affect your relationships with other people. They also affect how you look at people. They affect even your financial life. Then consequently, these addictions will go on to affect even your personal life, preventing you from doing the right things at the right time. So my amazing friends, you need to be able to know what your addictions are and start to deal with your addictions right away. And not only your addictions, but also look at the triggers that cause you to be addicted to the addictions that you have. The next way, my dear friends, that most people self-sabotage is through avoiding commitment. I understand that commitment can be quite scary. Very often, my dear friends, the fear of commitment that most people have, particularly in this generation, come from different experiences, is caused by different things. Some people are scared of commitment because they have seen some relationships crumbling that took years to build. Some have experienced it at a family level where they've seen even their own parents having problems after so many years invested. Some have seen people losing jobs that they've invested so much energy in for years, or that they've built from scratch only for them to lose at the end. But if you're not careful, my dear friends, this fear of commitment can cause you to have unnecessary fights with people. This fear of commitment will cause you to be emotionally unavailable to the people or to the work that you need to commit to. The next way in which most people self-sabotage is through self-criticism. I mean, how will you achieve your goals if you do not believe in yourself? Believing in yourself is the first assurance you need to overcome obstacles that come your way. This belief will compel you to push beyond your limits and even beyond your insecurities. Hi dear friends, even though it's very important from time to time to look into your actions, criticizing yourself too harshly will only lead to distraction. Even though it's very important that from time to time you look into your actions and self-introspect, you need to also understand that criticizing yourself too harshly will only lead to you destroying your self-esteem. My amazing friends, with all these insights that I just shared with you here on Insightful Daily, with all this wisdom that I just shared with you here in this beautiful podcast of ours, you need to realize that for you to reach your goals, you need to first take care of yourself and stop self-sabotaging. You need to stop worrying about the small things. Let go of the things that you can't change and focus on the things that you can. I believe that you've seen ways in which you tend to self-sabotage, but this is not the time for you to beat yourself up for the moments that you used to self-sabotage. This is actually a chance for you to make active changes. It's time for you to live your life with more intentionality. You need to break free from that yoke of self-pity and fly like a free bird. You deserve to fly high in the skies. Thank you so much, amazing visionaries. This was episode 13 of the Insightful Daily. I love you, my amazing visionaries. Do not forget to follow our channel on anchor.fm. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to follow and invite your friends into this beautiful, amazing, insightful page. This is the only place where you get to learn these kind of insights. You know very well that you don't learn these kind of insights anywhere else except here on the Insightful Daily with your friend, the visionary 4 times, Miss Lesego. From me, it's a peace. I love you. Take care.